Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Guys, good morning.
Yeah. Got some news late yesterday. Kind of some news late yesterday.
So, first of all, I would like to congratulate our man Lil Wayne on his Red Sox dominating. I think they're your Yankees, right? You like the Yankees.
I like the Yankees.
They dominated the Yankees last night at Fenway in a win-or-go-home game.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think Wayne actually loves the Red Sox even more than he loves his Packers, because he texted me during the game that he was losing his damn mind over this game.
I want to know who sent Aaron Judge home. That's all I need to know. Who did that?
Well, his name is Phil Nevin. He's the third base coach, and they're going to want his head in New York today.
Oh, right? Yeah, that was interesting. Yep. Oh, Wayne has some good, he's got some good teams. Interesting. But
let's go, Rays.
Skip's team, there was some news yesterday. The news Shannon is referring to. Let's get to it. Jaylon Smith's days in Dallas have come to a close as the former Pro Bowl linebacker was released yesterday after signing a 5-year, $64 million extension ahead of the 2019 season. Smith has become the odd man out in the Cowboys linebacking core behind Micah Parsons, Keanu Neal, and Leighton Vander Esch. Shannon, was this a good move or a bad move for the Cowboys?
Skip, unfortunately, this is one of those situations. It was a move. It wasn't because the guy has, first of all, let me say this. When this young man was laying on the field at the Fiesta Bowl with his knee in shreds, I did not see this.
No,
I did not see a guy being there, being here.
Agreed.
So it's a medical miracle, and it's a lot of love and support and a lot of determination and hard work that he ever made it thus far.
Yep. Jerry took a flyer on him in the second round.
Yes,
and he missed the whole first year to recover.
Correct.
Yep.
And for him to get here, that says something about this man's stick-to-itiveness.
I agree.
But Skip, this is also just goes to show you what the callousness and the bottom line business that the NFL is. And when you look at Vander Esch, you look at Cox, the Keanu Neal, Micah Parsons, it seems to me that Smith was going to be the odd man out. Now, I started telling you last year, Skip, there's a decline that is in his play. Everybody, you out of your mind. You just a Cowboy hater. Just watch the tape. Just watch him on.
No, trust me, the Cowboy fans saw it last year.
But, they might have seen it, Skip, but then you know how it is, Skip.
Yeah,
your family might be doing bad, but don't somebody outside of the family.
That's correct.
Don't you see it, Skip?
Yep.
But you could see his play, Skip. He wasn't the same guy. He was missing a lot of tackles. He was running around. It's almost like he didn't seem to know where he was going. And then it became even more abundantly clear in pass coverage. And so I think this was a move that needed to be made, Skip. But I hate it for the simple fact is that. And I don't really know Jaylon Smith. Skip, we had him on the show.
We had him.
That at the Super Bowl.
Yep, I liked him. Yep.
I liked him. Mm-hmm. I know what he's doing in the community for the minority business in Dallas, in that area, Skip. So that needs to be mentioned. But, Skip, it seems to me that, and I probably in his mind, he's saying, damn, we got a real shot this year.
That's right. I agree.
And damn, I'm not going to be a part of it.
Nope.
I've been through the last 2 years, been very lean, Skip, and this is my opportunity.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you the depth at what they have at that position.
Yep.
And Skip, and you can't have a guy like this and all of a sudden he's deactive. He's a healthy scratch, a DMP. Skip, you can't have that, Skip. So I think it was the only move that Dallas could make, although I don't like it because I like the guy. But before I turn over you, but I would just let you know just how out of the loop Mike McCarthy is. Mike McCarthy had just named this man defensive captain after the game in Carolina. And on Tuesday, Jerry Jones released him. That just goes to show you, Skip. And we were talking about this. I say all Mike McCarthy is a face. He has the title of head coach in name only. He named the man captain on Sunday after the game. Jerry called the man in on Tuesday and released him. Mike McCarthy had no idea that this was going on. Skip, I hate it. I understand the business. You covered it for 40 years. I played 14 years and been around it since. So we understand the callousness of this business. It's wins and losses. Can you help us win or can you not? They believe at this point in time, Skip, the other guys give them a better chance of winning.
Yeah.
They moved on from Jaylon Smith.
Okay, I'm going to start with your last point about captaincy. Jaylon Smith was also appointed a captain for Sunday's home game against Carolina. And the reason I know that for a fact was just before kickoff, we got to see, as I'm about to show you.
You breaking them down?
He was breaking them down. He was leading the rah-rah huddle on the sideline before kickoff.
Right.
Jaylon Smith is in the middle. He is leading the chants. He is hyping the hype artist. Yeah, here we go. This is Jaylon Smith.
They've got Zach Martin bouncing.
Here we go. Let's bump helmets. Let's headbutt. Here we go. Jaylon's got him hyped. Little did we know at that moment, he was on his way out of town. He is leading the entire massive huddle on the sideline, and they are listening. They are following.
Ty Smith said, I need to save my energy.
Well, he always says he's not going to participate in that. But I always viewed Jaylon Smith as a team leader. Maybe not the. Dak is the team leader.
Correct.
But of the defensive players, DeMarcus Lawrence is up there, obviously, but Jaylon Smith is up in there also because of what he overcame.
Yes.
He won their respect.
Yes.
He came all the way back from a knee that was, to your point, shredded to the point of nerve damage, to the point of career threatening, if not career ending.
Right.
And he fought his way back to have a very good run through the 2017 season, an even better run through 2018 when he and Wolf Hunter are just flying sideline to sideline. Remember the game against Drew Brees?
The New Orleans
game at home on a Thursday night late in the year?
Yes.
Those two young linebackers just dominated the game running sideline to sideline. And he can fly now. So can Wolf Hunter. But again, Jaylon, when he got healthy, he can run 4.5-ish.
Right.
And yet, 2019, he makes the Pro Bowl. It was more on the reputation of 2018.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the pandemic year came. And to your point, all of last year, as they had an historically bad year against the run, for a while they were on course to set the all-time record. They finished second, actually, to the Houston Texans in allowing rush yardage. But you remember the games, the 308 allowed to Cleveland at home and the 294 at Baltimore and the
240 against Cardinals.
261, I believe it was.
265,
Cardinals. Cardinals at home on a Monday night stage where they're just running wild. They are literally running you off your home turf. And a primary perpetrator was this man. Every time I looked up, Jaylon Smith looked like chicken with head cut off, going the wrong way. He seemed to lose his read and react confidence where he just was getting more and more lost. And he was the object of a lot of film study. That Bob Sturm of The Athletic just took his game all apart. And I feared he was on his way out, maybe going into this year.
I did too.
Then we had a little rejuvenation. And through camp, even though the kids started to rise and shine, starting with your man Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox, the fourth rounder, he can play.
Right.
I saw flashes of Jabril Cox during the preseason where I said he's going to be neck and neck with Micah as a dominating linebacker in this defense. And we haven't really seen Jabril yet because they're just too loaded at that position. So to your point, was he the odd man out? Well, sure he was. Now, to my point, I slept on this. I'm obviously a diehard. I love what I'm seeing because I think this team has a chance, to quote the great Troy Aikman, of being special. I think this team could go a ways in the postseason past just the first home game off winning the division. And because of that, I don't love messing with the mix right now. I don't love disrupting the chemistry. Now, if you go back to a Jimmy Johnson memorial move, this would be the kind that would send the message to the locker room. Nobody is safe. If you don't hack it, you're gone. Our way or the highway. And we don't get any of that from Mike McCarthy.
But Skip, here's the thing. Moves like that normally comes after a loss. Where you expected to win.
Great point. Agreed.
Not after scoring, they scored 36 points in really a blowout.
So to your point, this is the classic, I was surprised. I'm sorry, I'm not surprised, but I'm shocked. Because I'm shocked it happened on, what was it, October the 5th? October the 5th, they whacked him. They axed him. He's out the door. What? Jaylon Smith is gone? The reality of it just sank in. And when I woke up this morning, I thought, wait a second, we're riding high. And if you ask me right here, right now, as a Cowboy diehard, would I rather have Jaylon Smith or not have him? I'd rather have him. Unless you tell me he's the classic clubhouse lawyer type who's going to start making waves because he's not playing enough, but I don't get that.
I don't get that either, Skip. But also, here's something that the other guys have. Cox can play all the special teams. Keanu Neal can play all the special teams.
Yep.
And then you got the Michael Parsons. Mm-hmm. You've got to remember, Skip. You said yesterday, we're getting all these guys back. I said, well, Skip, where are you gonna play them? I said, somebody gonna get. You can't play 13, 14 guys, so somebody's gonna get left out. But let me tell you what this really tells you, Skip. They were willing to eat $7.2 million in guaranteed money.
They already paid
his tape must be awful.
Okay, but here's my point back to you. I watched very closely.
Yes.
And he was forced into action because of some injury, like Keanu Neal,
right,
unvaccinated, was on the COVID list. Right. But he played high snaps at Chargers, a game they pulled out, as you well know. But he played 54 snaps in that game. That's a lot.
That is.
He had played 75% of the defensive snaps in the 2 games at Chargers and then Philadelphia at home.
Right.
Played 50 snaps in that one. And against the Chargers, I saw rejuvenation. I saw a new spirit from him. I saw a new confidence surrounded by all the young studs. And, you know, like it sort of the rising tide lifts all boats, and his boat got lifted a little bit by all the new spirit on the defense. Trevon Diggs making defensive player of the month, and now he's the week. He did the month of September, and now he's the week. And somehow Jaylon sort of got swept up in that. He was playing a little more like Jaylon because he had 9 tackles at Chargers, 6 of them solo tackles. Well, that's pretty good production.
Yeah. Yes.
Now his snaps fell pretty dramatically against Carolina, and I don't know why. So he's appointed captain for that game, and then he didn't play as many snaps. I don't know what the strategy was, but the point is, I thought he was a valuable contributor. He didn't start any of those games.
Right.
But again, injuries happen. COVID's going to keep happening. You know it, and I know it. So would I rather have him if you already paid him? Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, you know, and I know what was lurking out there. There is a trigger in his contract whereby if he gets hurt this year, all of a sudden, immediately guaranteed is $9.2 million for next year.
Right.
Well, he hasn't been hurt at all. The irony was, after he came off the knee injury and fought through that, he's been flawless. He's been invincible. You know, he's not missed a game. So what were the odds that he would get hurt? Well, I don't even know how to put odds on it, but his would be lower than most.
Low, but there's a chance in football you can get hurt, and they're not willing to accept those odds, Skip. But here's the thing, Skip. When you look at a Dan Quinn defense, everywhere he's coached, the one thing that they could do was run. Every one of those linebackers can run. If you look at him in Seattle, they could run. You look at Atlanta, they were fast. Now, obviously, they didn't have any size, and we know what they represented. But they could run to the football. Jaylon is the odd man out in that situation, Skip.
He used to be able to run, and then I don't know what happened. He lost a step. And do you remember there was a play against Arizona in the preseason this year in which he had to bolt to the edge on a toss play? And it looked like he was running in slow motion, and Twitter just went crazy over it, and it was just all over just that play. And it looked like he was running in quicksand. And I assume the coaching staff finally just said, hey, we'll be fine without him. We get like.
No, Jerry said we'll be fine.
Well, somebody had. Well, okay. Yeah, that's right. But he had to hear it first from the coaches because he has no idea. He had to hear the coaches say, Jerry, actually, Jabril Cox needs some snaps. That's what they're saying.
And Skip, I mean, it's before. I mean, you're the last to see it. But if you watch Jaylon Smith, it was a struggle. And the thing is, Skip, a lot of times when we start to slow down, we start to take chances that we shouldn't take or that we could recover when we were younger. But what happens when you take that chance and all of a sudden you get out of position and you got to catch up? That's what you're talking about. It looks like he's digging. But damn, you ain't gained any ground, bro. I mean, it's like you still in one place. And the dude's way over there.
That's what was happening. And so finally, it became not worth the risk of having to pay him 9.2.
This is about next year. This ain't about this year.
No, because 9.2 is a lot of money against your cap next year as you look down the road of, wait a second, we could really have something happening here, and we don't want to be stuck with that albatross contract around our neck going into next year. So I'm still a little surprised they didn't just grin and bear it and just go forward because it's happening. It's going the right direction. And I feel like he was a part of the spirit of the team.
It seems to me, Skip, you, with your superstitious self, like, we got something good, let's just let it stay. Even if it's going to cost you $9 million, let's not mess up this year.
No, why would you? Like, shouldn't you just leave it be? Shouldn't you just leave it alone? Don't mess with success, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, so that's my...
Clearly, Jerry's not superstitious as you are.
He is not, but in the end, I'm looking at the silver lining, and now I'm going to drive this point home to you that I did yesterday.
Okay.
This team is loaded. It is loaded with young, upcoming, dare I say, special talent.
Right.
Talent worthy of saying, we don't even need him and we're going to be okay without him. And I don't discount that idea, but when I look down the line, Keanu Neal is back at his rightful position. He didn't belong at strong safety. He's a linebacker.
He was a slow safety, but a fast linebacker.
He's a fast linebacker, and he will stick you.
Yes.
And he is a run stuffer. And this team, again, my favorite stat so far this year, just for this defense, is they're 6th against the run. I know it's early. I know it's a very small sample size, but they are 6th. Last year, at this point, they were dead last. And I mean, I emphasize the word dead last. And now I'm looking at Micah Parsons is going to be a perennial Pro Bowler. And Wolf Hunter is still a very talented player because he was obviously a middle of the first round draft pick. Right?
As long as you don't let him get in space. He has a problem in space. And so that's why they like Keanu Neal trying to cover the tight end up the field, covering the backside of the backfield, and they let Wolf Hunter come downhill and strike you. But I was surprised, Skip, when I saw this flash of breaking news. I'm like, breaking news? What's going on? And then I see this, I'm like, oh, I get it. You know, he's not starting. He's not what he once was, but 4 games into the season.
All right, but you know what they're looking at? What I drove home to you yesterday, Donovan Wilson was a breath of fresh air last year at safety. He hasn't been playing. He's on his way back from his injury. And DeMarcus Lawrence has made Pro Bowls before, and he's going to be back at one of the defensive ends. And Randy Gregory is starting to have that breakout season that I thought. He is an edge rusher who is difficult to contain. And they were actually missing 4 stars because Neville Gallimore was a disruptive force in the middle of the line. And now Osa, the kid from UCLA, the rookie, he's becoming equal to Neville Gallimore. And Carlos Watkins is coming back. And all of a sudden, I'm looking around, that Golston kid's getting snaps and making plays. And I'm saying, Dorrance Armstrong started and had a sack at Justin Herbert. And I'm saying, they're all coming back. And so the defensive staff is just throwing up his hands saying, we're good.
They have depth. Nobody, with the exception of Parsons and Stephon Diggs, jumps off the page at you. But they're deep at a lot of positions, which means now, Skip, we don't have to play a whole lot of snaps, wear guys down. You don't have to worry about playing D-Law 55 snaps. Now you can play D-Law 35 snaps and maximize his production. Dorrance Armstrong, you can maximize guys' production by not wearing them down, playing the high total of snaps. So everybody's fresh, and you know, like, man, I only got so many opportunities. I got to show what I got. It's kind of you put everybody on that a rookie that's trying to make the team on that preseason mentality. You only get X amount of snaps, bro. You better flash.
Every time I look up, Jaron Kearse flashes. Right? Where'd he come from? They stole him.
Dan Quinn is very simple in his approach, Skip. He's a single high safety guy. They'll run robber, what we used to call lurk. They jump the guy on a crossing route. But it's, Skip, it's very simplistic. Run to the football. We ain't got all these exotic covers. They do this, do that. They do this, you do that. No.
And Kazee is impressing me because he's around the football, getting his hands on it, making plays, dislodging footballs. All of a sudden, I'm saying, Mike McCarthy was right about one thing. He's never seen one side of the ball flipped in an offseason the way the defensive side was flipped. Jimmy Johnson, who's always right, was dead right about this, that this team is pointing toward the postseason in which it's going to be fresh and strong because it's so deep.
Yeah, and you Skip, they're a 4-down lineman team. They were trying to run some 3-4 last year, stand guys up. But at the end of the day, the really great coordinators says, let me play to my personnel, not let me play to what I do well. And so it seems like Dan Quinn says, look, I got 4-3 personnel. Ooh, that's perfect. That's what I love to call. And those guys, I give them credit, Skip. They are running to the football.
They are, which means that the month of October is obviously Halloween month, and you're going to have one long nightmare the rest of the season thanks to my Dallas Cowboys. So all you Cowboy haters out there, you are on notice because we just said we don't even need Jaylon Smith.
Do you know who was an offensive rookie of the year for offensive player of the week for the NFC? You do know.
No, I don't.
You'll see him on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see him on Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll see him on Sunday.
Or do you want to
NFC offensive player of the week.
Do you want to put a couple of cases on it?
Daniel Dimes Jones.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they call him.
Is he your man now? Huh? Would you like to put a little dew on it?
Taylor Heineke,
Yep.
Hurts if he get ever.
You've got TF the field, and you're going to need the field because we're about to run away with
You ain't about to run away with nothing. You're not going anywhere.
We're about to run over Danny Dimes.
Okay.
Yep.
And Saquon started to look like an old
I saw flashes.
Never heard you talk about Danny Dimes this much, Shannon. You're speaking it into existence. I understand. In a recent poll of the NBA's 30 general managers, 37% of them believe Kevin Durant will win the MVP award, and he also took a whopping 41% of the responses when asked what player they'd want taking the final shot with a game on the line. Katie led both those results, while four-time MVP LeBron James didn't receive a single vote in either category. Shannon, defend your guy LeBron here.
I'm going to take the first one first about the MVP. So are we just going to forget that for the first half of last season, LeBron James was the MVP frontrunner until Solomon Hill dove for a loose ball and dove into the man's leg? Are we just going to forget that? So are we just going to pretend that didn't happen? That's not where he was at that point in time, playing extremely well. We had never seen a guy play this well in year 18 in the history. Now, there haven't been a whole lot of guys, Skip, that played that when we look at superstars, we look at Kobe, we look at Dirk, we look at Kareem, that was playing at this level in the year 18. So we're just going to forget that just happened.
Time out.
Yes.
What do you always tell me about the field of sports?
Yeah.
You have to update your resume.
Right.
After the ankle injury, which lingered and lingered and lingered, did he come back and update his resume?
No, but was he healthy?
I don't know.
You do. Yes, you do.
Well, he looked fine to me.
See, exactly. He looked fine to you, but you know he wasn't healthy. But anyway, now he's going into year 19. Now, he didn't get an MVP vote, but I feel very comfortable in saying no one heading into year 19 has more expectations. Kobe was voted the 40th best player in year 19. Dirk Nowitzki was a shell of himself. Tim Duncan was a shell of himself. These are the expectations. We're talking about LeBron didn't get an MVP vote, but he still voted a top 5 player. No other historically great player had ever been voted this high in year 19. Kareem, all-time leading scorer, 6 MVPs, 6 championships. Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward to ever play a ball game. Didn't have these kind of kudos. Now, to the clutchness. You see, repetitions of a lie doesn't make it the truth. This is how disinformation gets disseminated.
These are GMs that they don't buy into lies.
This is kind of how we got to where we are. Someone kept repeating something that if you get the vaccine, you'll grow a third eye. You'll have a horn. You'll grow a tail like an elephant. And so that kept getting repeated, and eventually people caught on to it and started to believe it. Now, this is what the numbers say. In the last 5 seconds of playoff games, game-tying or go-ahead shots, LeBron James is 7 of 18 for 39%. Kevin Durant is 2 for 11, 19%. From the three-point line, LeBron James in those same situations in the playoffs is 2 of 5 from 3, 40%. Kevin Durant is 0 of 6. That's 0%. Those are the facts. I don't know if the GM's got those numbers. In the last 10 seconds of playoff career game-winning shots, LeBron James is 9 of 23, 39%. Kevin Durant is 3 of 16, 19%. And those same game-winning shots in those 10 seconds, playoffs, game-winning or tying shots, LeBron James is 40%. Kevin Durant is 0 of 8 from the 3, 0%. Those are the numbers. You see what has happened is Skip Bayless has perpetuated a lie for a better part of a decade and a half, saying LeBron James is unclutch. And he's far from it.
Every GM has bought into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbelievable the power I have.
That's how misinformation works. Hey, Jim, I don't even like to do tape. You know I don't like to do tape. People at home know I don't like to do tape. But I want to show you something about LeBron James in the playoffs. Since he's unclutch and you don't want him taking the shot. Jim, can we get that footage? Now, this is a game. That's Orlando. Now, did they win the game? Is that a last-second shot? What about this, Skip?
Yeah, that was Chicago. I told
Did they win the game?
That was a 2-point shot. He got mad because the play was called for Kyrie, and he said, not on my watch.
You see what you did? Okay. Not because the play, did he make the shot?
Did the head coach call the play for Kyrie?
Did he make the shot? Will you answer that question?
Yeah.
Did he make the shot?
Yeah.
Okay, what about this? Did he make the shot?
Yep, he made it.
What you try to do?
I think he actually tried to backboard the shot.
You see what you're doing? See, what you're doing now is that what you do every time LeBron James, I want him to be mad. They call to play for someone else. They call to play for someone else. I don't care. They might call to play for someone else, but if I catch it, we win the game. Give me my credit for making the catch. Give him his credit. Kevin Durant, we saw, remember game 3? Had a chance to tie the game. In game 3 against the Milwaukee Bucks, what did he do? He shot terrible. He missed the shot. Remember in game 7, the three-pointer? And what did he do, Skip? He airballed it. The fact of the matter is,
the three-pointer, he almost made a three-pointer to win the game. It was one of the great clutch shots in the history of the game. Didn't win the game.
Skip, this is what we know. The fact says that in the last 5 seconds, the last 10 seconds in the playoffs, LeBron James is substantially better than Kevin Durant. Okay. That cannot be argued.
Well, I'm about to argue it to death.
Go ahead. Please do.
Okay, I want to drive this point home to you. This is 30 general managers, the National Basketball Association, far more qualified than I would be to make these calls. LeBron didn't even scratch in either category. He didn't even sniff. He got no respect because he got no votes for either MVP or which player would you want with the ball in his hands taking the last shot. Right. Kevin Durant got 41% of the votes. To Steph got 24%, and then Dame got 17%, Luka got 7%, Jokic got 7%. LeBron James nowhere to be found in that category.
Even though Kevin Durant is worse than Dame, LeBron, and Steph in last-second shots. So even though he's 4th on the list, you want him taking the last shot. That's because what has happened.
It's all my fault. I did it. I take all the credit for this and all the blame for it. MVP category. Kevin gets 37% of the votes for MVP. And think about the magnitude of that kind of acknowledgement because he's playing with 2 all-time great players, if, in fact, Kyrie ever decides to get vaccinated. But the point is, they know that Kyrie probably will play this year, and James Harden definitely will play. Wouldn't that split MVP votes? Yes, they know that, but they've seen Kevin Durant. What he did in the postseason last year was just extraordinary. Well, he lost because he had a toenail on the line on the three-point shot. It was one of the all-time great shots. He lost to the champion. He lost to the players, the 2 players who were voted best defensive player overall, Giannis, best perimeter defender, Drew Holiday, right? They are really good on defense, and he did not. He had a shell of James Harden. He had no Kyrie, and he said, I got this. He took it all the way to the finish line and ran out of gas.
Think about what you just said. You said it's okay for Kevin Durant to lose because he lost to the eventual champion.
The numbers he put up were just off the charts.
But he lost, Skip.
Okay, he lost because his toenail was on the line. I jumped out of my chair. I said, he clutched up again. That's what he does.
Skip, he lost.
Do you remember the shot he made right in LeBron's face to win the game 3, the turnaround game 3?
If you want to say that,
well, I don't know where that was in all your stats that you spewed all over the table.
Because it was 40 seconds left in the game.
The only stat I know that I cling to, the one I swear by and live by, is simply this one. Since LeBron came into the league, since he started out on game-deciding shots, game-on-the-line shots, He has missed 97 of those. It's far and away the worst over that stretch to Dwayne Wade's 77, and obviously Dwayne retired, 5 years ago.
Skip, hold on. So how do you get, so LeBron James came in way before everybody else is playing.
Yep.
He's played far longer than everybody than Dwayne Wade that came in with him. And you say nobody's missed more shots, even though he's 4 years clear, came in the league 4 years before Kevin Durant, probably 6 years before Steph Curry, and played longer than D. Wade. And you use that stat?
Yes, I am. And since LeBron came into the league from the free throw line, where he is a late game nightmare, you know it and I know it.
But they didn't mention free throw. They said shot.
Okay, well, it's the same idea. Who do you want with the ball in his hands at the end?
No, you changed it.
It's the same idea.
No, it's not.
Well, okay, I'm just going to add this as the cherry on top then. Free throws missed over the time he's been in the league. These are game-on-the-line free throws. LeBron has missed 16. That's double the next guy on the list, who is J.R. Smith, who is obviously also long gone. 16 free throws he's missed with the game on the line. He is complete. That's his Achilles heel. The last guy you want to see at the late game free throw line is the superstar, the GOAT, quote unquote.
But I got the same list.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't mention free throws. They said game-winning shot.
All right.
They said shot. Don't change the narrative, because every time that's what you go to. Free throw. He's the worst late game free throw. We're talking about shots. Now the number says the last 5 seconds, the last 10 seconds of a game time to go ahead shot. LeBron James is so much better than Kevin Durant. You can't argue the stats.
So I saw Kevin make the shot of shots late in game 3 of his first go-round with the Golden State Warriors, right in LeBron's house, to turn that series around.
Yes.
Then I saw him make that shot of shots against Giannis, but it came up just toenail on the line, 2-point shot, or the game would have been over. And guess who would have been over? The Bucks would have been over.
Okay, that was a game tying.
These GMs all watched the gold medal game at the Olympics, and it was just extraordinary. Every time they needed a bucket, they just feed KD, because he was by far the best player on the floor and the clutchest player on the floor. And what happened down the stretch of the gold medal game? Damian Lillard goes to the free throw line to ice it and goes clank, clank. And I told you, I turned to Ernestine, my wife sitting next to me. I said, next time down, they just got to get the ball in Kevin's hands, because he'll get fouled and he'll march right down the length of the court and he'll go make these 2 free throws. And not only did he get fouled, he went and swished both free throws to clinch it and clutch it.
So let me get this straight. So now a last second shot is any shot. So the shot that he hit in LeBron's place in Cleveland, you do realize there was like 25, 30 seconds left in the game.
Okay.
So that's theoretically not a last second shot. Okay. They said last second. Stop changing what they said.
Was it the game turner? Was it the game changer? Did it finally put Golden State ahead? Yes, it did.
So let me get this right. So now in the last 5 seconds of a playoff game or game changing shot. So now you want to change the entirety of the question that they were asked. Just so it fits your narrative.
I'm just saying, ball in hands, end of game. Who do you want? I want Kevin Durant any day or night over LeBron James.
You do realize LeBron James has hit more game-winning shots than Kevin Durant in the regular season or postseason. Do you understand that?
He's missed so many more. And don't even get me started on how many times he's run from the late game free throw line. I'm going to jack up a 3.
Skip, here's the thing. Michael Jordan said it. The reason why he's missed way more shots than he made. People only remember Michael Jordan's made shots, but he missed a bunch of them, way more than he made. Why is it that you only focus on you don't talk about the ones he made, even though he's made more shots, game-winning, game-tying shots in regular season and postseason than Kevin Durant? That cannot be argued.
Okay, let's go bigger picture. Let's do free throw shooting in general. What has LeBron been doing? For the last 5 years, he's under 70%. That is an embarrassment for a guy you call the GOAT and I call the phony GOAT. And the last 3 in a row, he's been under 70%. Kevin Durant is an 88% career free throw shooter who has shot 92% for a season. It's night and day. I've been telling you for 3 years he's the best player on the planet, and you have fought me for 3 years, and the time has finally come that he's getting his due that I saw coming long before the GM saw coming.
Okay, we'll do this. Hopefully you and I are together still. This is what year Kevin Durant's year 15? So in year 19, we'll see how many MVP Kevin Durant get in year 19.
Okay.
Compared to what LeBron got none. We'll see how many Kevin Durant got.
Okay.
Now, you keep going to the free throw because you know the argument about the last second shot. In the last 5, the last 10 seconds, it's not even close.
I just gave it to you.
No, you didn't. It's not close.
97 missed. And by the way, if I go one level deeper, do you realize on 3-pointers missed with the game on the line over LeBron's career, do you realize that he's missed 47 of those, and that's second on the list to guess who? His new running mate, Russell Westbrook, has missed 54 game-on-the-line threes since LeBron came into the league. So now you've got unclutch compounded by unclutch. You got Westbrook and LeBron James in the same backcourt? Are you kidding me? You better hide both your eyes.
Do you realize that in a playoff, in the last 5 seconds of a playoff game or game time or go-ahead shot, Kevin Durant has yet to make a three-pointer? If you bump that up to 10 seconds, Kevin Durant is 0 for 8. The guy that shoots better than LeBron James for the three has not made a game-tie or game-winning shot from the three-point line.
Well, he effectively made one against the Bucks.
No, he did not. What is that effectively? What is that?
He had 1/10 of an inch on the line. You had to maximize. You had to blow up the shot to actually see, oh, it barely touched.
Skip, you know what? I came one number from having the Powerball and winning $700 million.
Well, that's not true.
Exactly. That's not true. He didn't win the game. They said last second shot to win the game. Kevin Durant has not made a three-point shot in the last 5 or 10 seconds from three. A better three-point shooter than LeBron. LeBron is 40% in those situations. Last 5, last 10 seconds of a go-ahead or a game-winning shot from the three. Kevin Durant is a better three-point shooter, but he hadn't made more shots than LeBron. Kevin Durant is a better shooter, but when it comes time to money need to beat the table.
You know what? You're right about this. When LeBron sees 3 rims like he did against Golden State because he got poked in the eye, and he says, I got to choose one, I'll just shoot for the middle, and it actually went in against Steph and company, maybe he's better when he gets poked in the eye. I'll give you a poke in the eye shot.
Skip, if I do this, I will say, you know what? Patrick Mahomes throws the deep ball better than Brady, so therefore he's better than Brady. That's not the argument that I use. And there are a lot of guys that throw the deep ball better than Brady. But you're not going to say just because they throw a deep ball better than Brady. You want to use their thing just because Kevin Durant shoots the ball better from 3 or better from the free throw line, he's better.
Okay. Well, LeBron is a lousy three-point shooter. In his 3 years in L.A., he's averaged making 35% of his threes. It's horrendously bad. You realize what Kevin shot last year from 3 during the regular season? 45%.
Can I ask you a question?
45 to 35.
When is that going to carry over into the playoffs and he hit one to tie the game or win the game? When is he going to do that?
Well, I saw him do it right in LeBron's face in game 3.
Skip, it was a minute left in the ball game.
Did it stand up? Yep.
See, there you go. You see what you did? That's not what the general manager said. The general manager said the last second shot. Last second.
You know what the general managers are screaming to you? Skip was right from the start. From the start.
So hold on. These are the same general managers that draft players and bust every year?
Yep.
Those general managers. So you trust them now.
Well, some of them have got to be right about something.
Some of them got to be right. Because they put KD in front of LeBron. They got to be right now. All I'm saying is, but hold on. LeBron
you'd have a point if LeBron were second in game on the line voting, if he'd come in second. He didn't even get a vote.
Yeah, okay.
They just say, no, get him out of our sight.
But see, that just goes to show you when lies get repeated over and over. Skip, the numbers. All you got to do is look at the numbers.
I gave you the number.
What number?
He misses like crazy from 3, from the free throw line, and from anywhere.
You use a stat for a guy that came in 2003. Okay, what other guy?
You show video of the 3 shots that he's made in 20 years.
Can I ask you a question? Guess what? Kevin Durant was in the league then. Steph Curry was in the league then. So you using a stat says he's missed more shots. He's in the league 6 years before Steph.
I've told
4 years before KD.
I give you the one you showed. It was against Jimmy Butler. It was against the T-Wolves, right? That was a great shot. He's been in the league for 19 years. He's missed so many. Every once in a while, he's a really good player. He's going to make an occasional shot. The one against Anunoby. Remember, it was Ty Lue who said, just take the ball and go with it.
Right.
So they didn't call timeout.
Right.
They inbounded from the far line. Wait a second, I'm going to finish it. And he just goes against a rookie named Anunoby. Remember? And he drove him all the way the length of the floor. And he's running off 1 foot. And I think he wanted to to bank it.
He did bank it.
No, I mean, he wanted not to bank it,
yeah,
right?
He wanted to bank it. That's what he did.
No, he did not want to bank it, and it accidentally banked. And it went in, and I was like, well, that was kind of lucky.
Think about what you just said, Skip.
What's the other one you showed? Oh, the mad shot. He got mad because David Blatt called the play for Kyrie, and LeBron blew up, and he should have blown up.
And guess what?
I got it.
And you still
I've told you from the start. I've been saying this on TV for at least 15 years. I love mad LeBron. He doesn't get mad that often.
Think about what you did. You gave everybody else credit except the man that made the shot.
Yeah.
You said what he did, he went against a rookie, and he meant to do this. You said David
all these
Blatt.
GMs, they saw what happened. Remember Game 1 at Oracle in, 2018? He's got little Steph switched onto him, and he's red hot from outside in a very uncharacteristic manner. I'd never seen him shoot
I'm glad you brought that up. So in Game 7, KD is red hot.
I'm not finishing. And he could have pulled right up on Steph. He had basically a free throw line jump shot, and he turns it down to pass to George Hill.
The guy to make a layup.
Yeah,
to make a layup.
Clay just tackled him.
Yeah, okay.
And it said George Hill.
That's LeBron's fault that Clay tackled him. George Hill missed the free throw.
Is he clutch or not? Because he didn't want any part of that shot.
Game
But you know
7.
why? It was a do or die.
Game 7.
They're down a point. You got to make it or you go home.
Guess what? Kevin Durant had the same situation in Game 3 for a three-point shot to tie the game. He missed it. He had the same situation in overtime in Game 7. What did he do?
Okay, I want you to go on the record one more time. Who is the best player on the planet right now?
Giannis.
Did he get any votes for?
I don't care what he got.
For game on the line? No, nobody wants him with the game on the line because he is a nightmare.
That is what you just asked me. You don't say you didn't ask me if
that's
I want
part of best player on the planet.
No, Skip, you asked me who's the best player on the planet. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
No, it's Kevin Durant. Well, where is Giannis on here? Well, he was third. The GMs gave him 13% chance to win MVP. Kevin, 37%. Right. They're just saying your time is over, LeBron. The torch has finally been passed to Kevin Durant.
Guy, you're 19. His time is up.
Well,
wow.
That's okay. Congratulations. You had a great run.
I don't think LeBron thinks his time is up yet. You may have something to say about that. We're going back to Skip's Cowboys right now because they're making moves after putting together another convincing win against the previously undefeated Panthers. USA Today's latest NFL Power Rankings has the Cowboys as the 5th best squads in the league. The only teams ahead of them right now are the Cardinals at number 1, followed by the Rams, Bucks, and then the Browns. So, Shannon, how do you feel about the list? Did they get it right?
Hell no. The Cowboys barely the 5th best team in the NFC, let alone the whole NFL. Cards, Rams, Bucks, Packers. I would put all them in front of the Cowboys. And then I would say Buffalo. I would say the Ravens. I would say Kansas City. So ain't no way they're a top 5 team. No way, no how, no shape, form, or fashion. Absolutely not. And the Browns got no business whatsoever being in the top, Skip. They're not better than Buffalo. They're not better than the Ravens. I don't believe they're better than Kansas City because Kansas City has beat those guys head to head. Said we're going to find out because they play the Chargers this week, Skip. So a lot of things will get crystallized for us this week because tomorrow night Seattle plays the Rams. The Chargers play the Browns. So we're going to get some clarity. Buffalo plays Kansas City. So we'll have some clarity come Monday. But as I sit here right now, the Cowboys have one win. They beat a very good Chargers team. I will give you that. But the Eagles and the Panthers
have a really good defense. You'll see it. You'll see it.
Hold on.
Just remember I said this. You'll see it.
You know what I do? I love how you did that. You notice we're talking about football teams, and you pick a specific side. Do they have a really good defense? Do they have a good team? Are they going to be in the playoffs?
You love Sam Darnold. You said he was the best quarterback in that draft. They got him now. You said he's had a resurgence there. I don't know.
He's playing better.
DJ Moore, I think he's spectacular.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. They beat them, but I do not believe they are a good team. I don't believe they're going to make the playoffs. I voiced that. What you tried to do was that you tried to play up Carolina. So therefore, if you beat them, that means the Cowboys must be really, really, really good. I told you what was going to happen. I said it's going to be a very similar situation to the Philadelphia Eagles. I was right because the score at one point in time to start the fourth quarter was 36-14. The Cowboys took their foot off the gas. Jerry Jones even said that, and Carolina come back, make the game a lot closer than it actually was.
Yep. My turn?
It's your turn.
Thank you. Your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, now grades overall teams in the National Football League. Number one on their grading list is the Cleveland Browns, my Super Bowl pick to come out of the AFC.
No way, no how.
Number one, I'm just telling you what they rank. Number three on that list is my Dallas Cowboys, so 1 and 3.
No chance.
I stick with my Super Bowl pick. It's going to be Tampa over the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl. The Buccaneers obviously have gotten off to a tumultuous start because of the game in Foxborough, and they have been injury-riddled. They will slowly but surely get healthier. We're going to talk later about Stephon Gilmore is on the market. I will not at all be surprised if he winds up, thanks to a phone call from the GOAT, Tom Brady, if he winds up with the Buccaneers. And we'll see if they start to get healthier now that they got Richard Sherman and maybe Stephon Gilmore on defense. And the defense will be brought to a boil later in the season, just the way it was by Todd Bowles last year. So far, not so great for the Buccaneers. But now this brings me to my Dallas Cowboys. My eye test tells me, of all the football I've watched so far, all the teams, the team that has performed the best overall in 4 games is my Dallas Cowboys.
Not even close.
It is very close because the Buccaneers were at full strength on opening Thursday night. And I told you how it was so unfair to throw us after back-to-back years of missing the playoffs into the opening Thursday night game. It's usually at least a previous year's playoff team against the defending champion. But no, we got thrown into Tampa Bay. And what did we do? We almost out-goated the GOAT. We forced Tom Brady with a minute and 24 seconds left to do what he always does better than anybody's ever done it in the history of this game or maybe any game. He took his team on a drive for a walk-off field goal. It took that for the defending champ to overcome my team. And what did I come in here the next day and tell you? That was a moral victory if there ever was one, because you saw on display the firepower on both sides of the ball from my Dallas Cowboys, taking the ball away and throwing the football and scoring points.
Okay, you lost a game like that, but you also won a game like that against the Chargers.
Okay, well, we won it because we ran it down their throats.
Skip, why does it matter how you won the game? You won it.
Look what the numbers are screaming at you right now, and you say they're not even the 5th best team in the NFC. Baloney. Okay, who is tied for first in turnover differential in the NFL? It's my Dallas Cowboys with the Buffalo Bills. That's pretty good, right? Second in takeaways to the Buffalo Bills. My Dallas Cowboys, we have 10 to their 11. Is that good? Is that better than last year? I'd say. Who is 6th in stopping the run so far? My Dallas Cowboys.
What running back have you faced? Tell me the running back that you faced.
Well, do you realize what we were last year? At this point last year, we were on historic pace. Okay, now at least we've shored it up.
Have you faced the Ravens rushing attack yet?
No, we have not.
Have you faced the Browns rushing attack yet?
But do you think the Ravens could go for 294 on us? They could not.
They could put it like this here. They would continue their 100-yard streak against you.
Okay, they might get 105, but I don't think they could get more than 105. Okay, now I look at who's second in rushing, speaking of the Cleveland Browns, in the NFL. We are. We're second in rushing. You didn't see that coming. You said you're a throwing football team, right?
So what about your quarterback?
Okay. Who does Pro Football Focus rank number 1 in run blocking line? It's our line.
Yes.
Number 1 right now in run blocking.
Yeah.
Here's a shocker for you. What running back in the NFL is ranked number 1 by far in overall grade? Each time he touches the football, they give him a grade and they add it up for the first 4 games. Who is it? Tony Pollard is running away with that. Okay, Zeke is 13th, which is still pretty good. So if you got 2 of the top 13, that will work. But Tony Pollard has been a godsend. He's been a breath of fresh air. Every time he touches it, you say he's got a burst that Zeke does not have. So we have thunder and we have lightning. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at the overall offense. We're 4th in scoring points. Well, that'll work when you're that much better on defense than you were last year. And we're tied for 16th in points allowed. Well, that's night and day from a year ago. Now, at least we're credible on defense. So, do you like the Cardinals number 1, right? You say that's okay?
I think they should be.
Okay, well, let's do the Cardinals. Let's break down what they did, okay? So they had a nice opening day win at Tennessee, right? And now we look at Tennessee. They just lost to the Jets.
Right.
Are they that good? No, they're not that good. What was game 2 for Arizona? They go home and it takes a 37-yard missed field goal by Greg Joseph of the Vikings or they're going to lose. And Greg Joseph had made 2 52-yard field goals in that same game, and he misses a 37-yarder, or they're going to have their first loss.
Right.
Well, I have to discount what they are. I loved them going to L.A. because I said they're in the perfect spot. You laughed at me. You lost a couple of more cases because I said this team is a very good team in the perfect spot to take advantage of a Rams team that won the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers.
So let me get this right. You're going to discount what Arizona did by beating Tennessee. You're going to discount what they did because the Rams, their Super Bowl was beating the Bucs. But you're going to give the Cowboys credit for beating Carolina and Philly.
Well, they got completely outplayed by the Minnesota Vikings in Arizona, in Phoenix. They got outplayed.
You got outplayed by the Chargers, but you won.
We didn't get outplayed by the Chargers. Are you kidding me?
Skip, they had 2 touchdowns called back, and they got a pick in the end zone.
Yeah, and Dak goes 5 for 5 on the last drive to set up the game-winning field goal.
Skip, you saw Justin Herbert outplay Dak Prescott. They had 2 touchdowns called back. 2, and they threw a pick in the end zone. Stop it. So you got outplayed, but you won.
Justin Herbert made 2 big mistakes in that game. You know it, and I know it.
Skip.
Dak didn't make any mistakes.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can't say because one guy made a mistake, my guy didn't. Okay. One guy made a field goal for the Cardinals, the other guy missed it for the Vikings. That's the way it works. New England, we saw the Patriots. The Tampa Bay kicker, he makes it. New England, he misses it. They lose. That's football.
Okay.
But what you do when you take football, you're like, well, if my team would have done this, they would have won. Everybody can say that.
No, my team went to the defending champs and took them to the wire.
They lost.
That was extremely impressive.
No, it's not. There's nothing impressive about a loss.
They took the ball away 4 times from Tampa.
Think about that. You took the ball away 4 times, and you still lost the game.
Okay, but you don't think that's progress for my team? That was an impressive loss. The rest have been impressive wins. You love Justin Herbert. He's the next great thing. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
We beat him. We beat him at the Chargers.
But see, you see what you're saying? Yeah. Now, see, when you beat somebody, you're like, we beat them. But you want to take more vigorous for you lost to Tampa. You lost.
We ran the ball down the Chargers' throat.
But you lost.
And then we ran the ball down Philly's throat. And then we did it to Carolina, who came in number 1 against the run, and we ran it down their throats.
Carolina,
they came in number 1 in sacks, and we did not get sacked.
Philadelphia did not even force a punt from the Kansas City.
Okay.
They scored 42 points without a takeaway. Let that sink in. When the last time have you seen a team score 42 points without a takeaway?
Okay, but Justin Herbert and company went to Kansas City and beat them.
Yes!
Okay, my team went to Justin Herbert and beat him.
Yes!
That's impressive. Highly impressive. That's a big W. Big, gleaming W.
And Arizona went on the road. They beat Tennessee, I still believe, as a playoff team. And they beat the Rams, who we believe are a playoff team. You've got one, Skip, I've given you credit. I gave you credit for beating the Chargers. I said that's a quality win. But you want credit for beating Carolina. You want credit for beating the Eagles. And neither one of those teams, I believe, are good.
Okay, I'm just eye testing. And that team in Dallas, that team has played at the highest level I've seen for 4 games. I'm not saying they're going to be at that level at the end of the year, but if we're doing power rankings right here, right now, they're definitely in the top 5.
No.
And you could make a case that they've played even better than anybody on this list. So if you just do 4-game resume, you could say they're right at the top of the list. Again, Pro Football Focus says they're the 3rd best team to the Browns, 1st best.
The Browns has no business being at the top of this list, especially with their quarterback.
Yeah, their quarterback had been on a roll until Odell came back.
Yeah. At some point in time, you got to stop blaming Baker's failures on Odell.
Well, he didn't fail last year because he won 11 straight games and was ranked 4th overall in quarterback rating.
So what happened? So how was he looking before Odell got back?
Before Odell got back?
Yeah, in Kansas City.
Just fine.
And the week before they know he's not Skip. He's not fine. Yep. This is a running team. At some point in time.
He's plenty good enough. They're going to win the AFC. Okay, I said I went way out on a limb. I first guess. You third guess.
Nope. Okay? I'm sorry.
All of a sudden you're saying, yeah, Arizona deserves to be first.
They don't. Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I called it going to the Rams.
Undefeated and going on the road and beating the Rams and the Titans. Yes, you lost to the Bucs. You don't get no. There ain't no such thing as a quality loss. You get quality wins, but you don't get quality losses.
At Arizona, Kirk Cousins had a QBR of 84 to Kyler's 72. Minnesota had 22 first downs to Arizona's 21. That's you're disqualified from the top spot just for that game. We're early. It's just 4 games, but when 1/4 of your resume was that game,
you lost.
Ooh.
Skip, you lost. You do realize you do not get credit for Dak Prescott throwing for 3 touchdowns, 400 yards. you lost the game. Herb never says, you know what? You play to win the game.
I never really understood that.
Yes, you do. You understood it.
Yeah.
Because what you and Cowboy fans is that you play for moral victory. We played the defending Super Bowl champs tough. We almost won. We almost did this. Did you or did you not? This is a bottom line business.
What did you come away from on Friday morning after that game? You're sitting back thinking,
Tampa won.
Good.
I came back saying Tampa won, which I told you they were going to win.
Okay. Well, you didn't tell me it was going to go to the wire. You said it was going to be a rout. That was your quote. It's going to be a rout.
Did I expect Tampa to turn the ball over 4 times? No, I did not.
Did you expect us to take it away 4 times?
You took it away 4 times, and you still caught an L. You caught an L.
That's what you call GOAT.
Caught an L.
Yeah.
No mercy.
According to reports, quote, the financial significance of holding out is starting to take hold in Ben Simmons' camp. The all-star point guard was fined about $360,000 for skipping Monday's preseason game, and his representation communicated to Philly that his early fines were higher than expected. Shannon, will Simmons play for the Sixers this year?
I don't believe he will, Skip. I believe he's pretty dug in. He had to understand, and these are all the talks that you have before you make a decision like this. Now, you do understand you're due a bonus of $8.25 million on this date. They're probably going to withhold that. If I sit here and explain this to you, Ben, they're going to withhold this money. Now, you do realize that they're going to fine you for not playing in these preseason games. Do you understand that if that's something that you're willing to risk, are you willing to risk to get up out of there that says, I do no longer want to be a part of the Sixers organization. I no longer want to play with Joel Embiid. Are you willing to risk this? Do you understand what I'm explaining to you, Ben? There's a chance you can lose $15, $20, $30 million by not playing. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you, Skip? That's the way they lay it out.
Yep.
Any player that holds out, you have to understand. What you do is that all your money, Skip. You know, when I was thinking about holding out, okay, got all this paid up, got all that paid up, paid the house off for a year, played. So I'm lining all my ducks up because if I got to hold out, this is what I need to have happen.
Yep.
I can assure you, Ben has made some good money. So he probably can withstand a year. What they're hoping is that somebody else gets upset and it's like, okay, Dame Lillard, come on, we'll trade you Ben Simmons for Dame Lillard. Or Bradley Beal wants out. But I don't see that happening. I don't believe that these reports are true. I believe that they've laid out, Ben Simmons' representative have laid out the ramifications of him holding out. Ben, from what I've been told, Ben has made it abundantly clear. It's not about the money. I want out. 29 other teams other than Philly is where I want to be. Philly's trying to make it about the money. Oh, we're not going to pay you. Okay, fine. I'm not coming. So I believe Ben understands the ramifications of him holding out, understands that he stands a chance to lose a lot of money, but he seems to be devout in what he believes in, and he doesn't want to be there. So this is where we are right now. Both sides seem to be dug in, and it doesn't seem to be getting any traction moving one way or another.
Okay. I hear everything you just said, but my gut feeling remains at some point he will return to play for the Sixers this year.
Oh, I would have returned. I'd have showed up. I'd have been like James Harden. I'd have showed up. I might have been a little out of shape. No, I'm going to be professional at all times. I'm going to show up, but I want them to understand that I want to be traded. So I'm going to be professional, Skip. I would not have handled it like Ben is handling it.
Okay. I believe that Ben Simmons, and I do not know him, nor have I been around him, but he comes across as extremely prideful.
Yeah.
Almost to a fault. He is so proud of who he is and what he is as a basketball player, because he's a really good basketball player who has a free throw demon he has not been able to defeat. We've seen him make free throws before. I'm going to hark back to that February 13th game without Embiid at Utah versus Rudy Gobert. He made 12 of 13 free throws. You can't tell me he's incapable of making free throws, because he's very capable. He just got stuck in his head that I can't do it late in games. For whatever reason, we've seen it happen to repeated players in many sports where they just lose it, and it's going to require some psychiatry to get him through it. But he's so proud that we always talk during the finals about Giannis. He's not proud to a fault. He just doesn't care. He'll jack up a 3 and airball it, and then he'll come right down and he'll make a 3. He'll airball 2 free throws and he'll come right back and make 5 in a row because he's like, this is who I am and I'm okay with it. He's made peace with who he is and who he is not. Ben has not made peace with this.
Right.
So the point is, I get you on dug in because I don't know that anybody could get more dug in than Ben. The problem is he has 4 years left on his deal. And the problem is that you can't argue that last year was an overall disaster. They were the top seed in the East.
Right.
Obviously, I'm going to repeat the stats on him. It's why I believe in Ben Simmons as a basketball player. He was the Rookie of the Year. Then he made 3 straight All-Star teams, and he made 2 straight All-Defensive First teams. And he came close to making Defensive Player of the Year. And even in that brutal game that he had in Game 7 against the Atlanta Hawks, he held Trae Young to 5 of 23 because he just engulfs him. He's 6'10", he's long, he's strong, he's smart. When he applies himself on the defensive end, he's up there, man.
Yeah, he's a top 2 or 3 defender. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and he's a gifted passer of the basketball. Maybe they messed up the whole idea of we got to run the offense through him. Maybe he and Joel aren't the best strategic match where they get in each other's way occasionally. I get that. If they had a pure, true point guard who could take over the team, I think they would be a better team. I don't know if Tyrese Maxey can sort of evolve and grow into that role. That's a tough one.
Skip, you're going to need a top to take down Milwaukee, to take down the Nets. You're going to need a top-tier point guard. You're going to need a Dame Lillard. You're going to need a Bradley Beal. You're going to need someone of that ilk,
They
Skip.
rave about Tyrese. And I just haven't – I saw flashes at Kentucky, but I don't know if he's not Dame.
Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are not beating the Brooklyn Nets. Are not beating the
But if you could figure a way to get Ben back in the mix, it might work. So
Skip, why would you want him back after what Joel has said, what Doc has said, what he said about no longer wanting to play with Joel Embiid? Why would you want him back?
Because he's just too good to trade. In the big picture, once the smoke clears in everybody's head, once everybody calms down and sits down and looks hard at the situation with clear minds, you just see you're not going to get back on the market because the market is now turned completely against you because he's demanding that he wants out.
Yes.
And so you're not going to get, you're going to get like 25 cents on the dollar back for it. And they don't want to do it. And it's not like he was terribly unhappy. His pride got hurt by his head coach and his co-star. The proverbial throw under the bus after a loss. Everybody was upset. I don't think Doc meant exactly what he meant to say. I think he was trying to dodge the question, but he said it indelicately at best.
Yeah, Skip, that's like hitting somebody in the head with the basketball. My bad, but you still hit me in the head.
I didn't mean to.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You still clunked me upside the head with the ball.
I got it. I just think that some time's going to pass, and according to the Philly Voice, that it was communicated to the Sixers that these early fines that are being imposed were perhaps higher than they expected. I assume Rich Paul or somebody in the camp is telling the Sixers, wait a second, we didn't think it was that bad. You didn't express you're going to be able to go that far with these fines? Yep, we're going that far. And you're actually going to, yep, we're doing it. Okay, so it's an impasse and it's ugly right now. It needs some mediation to bring him back into the fold. What did Daryl Morey say last week in the big press session they had? He said, I just watched a guy on what night was it that Aaron played? Was it Monday Night Football? Okay, so it was Tuesday. He had just watched Aaron Rodgers light it up on Monday night with the 37 seconds left against the 49ers, right? Was that Monday? I think it was. But whatever. They had all blurs. But the point is, he said, hey, he's playing great for the Packers, and everybody said in the offseason there's no way he's going back to Green Bay.
But I tell you what if Matt LaFleur would have said, you know what, hey, do you believe, hey, Matt, do you think you can still at this stage, you can win a championship with Aaron Rodgers, your quarterback? You know, I don't want to answer that question at this point. And Devontae Adams, where do you think the game turned? Well, I thought in a situation it was 3rd and 8, and we could have, possibly run for it, and we ended up throwing into double coverage. What do you think would have happened? Aaron is not coming back. So you just can't say it's relevant. They basically said everything. Everybody wanted Aaron back, but they said we respect his decision. The head coach says, I believe in him from the jump. You can't ask a guy you said he's prideful. And great players, the greater you are as a player, the more pride that you have. You know that. You've been around him. And it's just not athletes. People want to think, well, athletes are just prideful. The more successful any person is, entertainer, actress, it does not matter, doctor, lawyer, the more pride, the more successful they are, the more pride that they have.
Okay.
And if you damage that.
I got it. This needs a mediation to get him back in. And the best mediator I know in professional basketball is Doc Rivers.
No, Doc messed it up. It was Doc
okay,
messed it up.
I know
first.
he started it, but I think he can finish it.
No.
I think he can undo
Then he let me mediate. Hey, Ben, you want to be here? Nah, Shannon, I don't want to be there.
Okay.
Darren Moore, you heard what he said. Get this man up out of here. Let's go.
Okay, so they don't want to give him away because you just thrust them into a give him away situation.
Because Skip, you already know how there's very seldom a situation where you trade superstars for superstars. You end up getting a package or some draft picks. You're not getting, even though they Brandon Ingram and you got Hart and you got some draft picks, that's Anthony Davis.
Lonzo.
Yeah. That's Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
That's a generational player. So the likelihood, Portland's like, why would we trade you Dame for Ben? Why would you trade you Bradley Beal? We want to keep our guys. Your guy wants out. Our guy's not disgruntled.
Well, the problem is that Ben is right now damaged good psychologically. And so that scares everybody off, too. Right. Even though he's got the accolades to show. He's only 25.
Ben is going to have to, whatever happens, Ben is going to have to prove, Skip, that he's that guy. He's got some damage. He's got some repairing to do to the way he plays on the court.
Okay, the best place to do that to me is to go back to the
No, I can't go back to Philly. Skip, I'm not finna go back to a place where the news had a trash can floating down the river and says, here's Ben Simmons leaving. I'm not going back to that. I'm not finna go back with the fans all on Twitter calling me trash. Nah, I'm good. Let this trash go be someone else's treasure. Y'all do y'all thing. Because Philly, for some reason, I don't know what Philly fans like, oh man, bro, y'all hadn't won anything since '83.
They're the toughest, though.
Y'all ain't won one football championship.
They're still the most vicious.
Yeah, exactly. For what reason? You know, for viciousness, not titles, though.
I told you Aaron Rodgers will be a Packer this year, and he was, and I believe Ben Simmons will wind up being a Sixer.
Well, y'all gonna kiss his feet? Because the Packers kissed his feet. Aaron Rodgers put his feet up there and they kissed him.
I think the moment you look at your bank account and you don't see the money leaving it, I mean, that starts to mess with you, right?
That money starts leaving you.
Coming in, you're like, wait a second, I'm holding out for what? I don't know what this is.
No mercy.
Despite the Lakers' flurry of moves this summer, nearly half of the league's GMs voted for the Heat as the team that had the best offseason, while LA came in second. Miami's acquisition of Kyle Lowry helped tip the scales in their favor, who was also voted as the player who will make the biggest impact for his new team. The Lakers point guard Russell Westbrook came in second there. So, Shannon, you've been bullish on the Lakers offseason, so how surprised are you at these results?
I'm not surprised, Skip. People doubt the Westbrook part of this. How is he going to fit with LeBron and Anthony Davis? And I've said this before, Skip, I don't think it's a natural fit, but I believe that LeBron James and Russell Westbrook will make this work. And if LeBron James can't make it work, ain't nobody gonna make it work because he can make anything work.
I will buy that.
I call him MacGyver. MacGyver make it work. You remember that TV show? He's stranded somewhere. You're like, oh, they got MacGyver this time. Ain't no way he gonna get up out of this.
Yep.
And here, all of a sudden, a flashlight, a battery, and a piece of string and a stick. And he got a car.
And by the way, to LeBron's credit, he did win a couple of categories. One of them was most versatile player.
Yeah.
So I give you, that's MacGyver-esque.
Yes.
Okay, so if anybody can pull this off, he can, and he won't be able to. Go ahead.
He will be able to. But anyway, Skip, I love the offseason acquisitions that they made outside. But Russell Westbrook is an upgrade over Schroeder. They have better shooting with Malik Monk, Ellington, Nunn, Bazemore. I like Melo. Defense and size because they want to get back to what helped them win the championship, which was they were big. They were a big basketball team. Dwight and DJ's back. I'm not going to miss Schroeder and Kyle Kuzma. I'm going to miss those guys like I miss my old hip. I don't miss it at all because for the first time in about 4 years, I'm without pain. So I don't miss that old hip. I'm not going to miss those two guys also. And people go, man, Kuzma, he's probably going to go light it up. And I told you, Skip, I believe he can be a good player on a bad team. The question is, can he be a good player on a championship team? And they say, nah, we good. We've seen enough. And besides, Skip, he's 26. He done maxed out. What he gonna be?
Well, he did contribute to a championship team in the bubble.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean, he was a pretty good player on a championship team.
Okay, what did he do last year? How did it look? Okay, thank you. And he had an opportunity when LeBron got hurt, when AD was out. How did he do? But anyway, so I like the roster that they put together. I can understand Kyle Lowry seems to be a natural fit. He's a point guard, can distribute, he can take and make big shots, and he fits the Heat culture with his tenacity.
Yep.
So yes, I agree. I believe that is a better fit. Kyle Lowry in Miami is a better fit than Russ in Miami. But I don't believe it will play the dividends that Russ will play for the Lakers.
I got to tell you, I was shocked by this because you have indoctrinated me with all your purple and gold phony baloney to the point that I'm starting to see a little purple and gold. And I told you, every move that GM LeBron made to upgrade the Lakers.
Pelinka.
No, it's LeBron James. He's the one who starts and finishes every move. Again, Rob might be the leg man. He might make the phone calls.
You hate it.
No, it's just the truth. That is actually a huge compliment.
It ain't no huge compliment
to LeBron James.
No, it's not.
He's the unofficial assistant head coach. You know, he's sort of the co-coach.
No,
that's what he is.
Frankie V.
No, Frankie V. He got no love in
and
this
now we
poll.
got Fizdale.
Yeah.
Oh, you know,
I love Fizz.
Skip, but let me ask you a question before you go. Name the head coach that has gotten credit when you have a LeBron. It's just like it's so hard for you to get credit.
Lou got a lot of credit
but
for the 3-1 turnaround.
Yeah, but I'm saying he didn't get no coach of the year. But I'm saying when you get a guy like Brady, look at a guy like Bruce. They ain't give Bruce Arians no credit. They gave it all to Tom. Coach Belichick. They like, man, you had Tom. You ain't getting no credit. Get out of here.
Thank you. Okay, I agree. Bingo. Touche. All right, so back to this landslide in the category of best overall offseason moves. The Heat just ramrodded. They just bulldozed the Lakers. And I thought it would at least be close, but it was 47% of the vote went to the Heat and only 17% went to the Lakers.
Well, see, this is why I disagree. Now, if you're going to tell me the one move, but if you say overall moves like it's combined, I think we got the better of the deal. I think we better than the Heat.
Okay, so you're surprised by this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I was just basing it on Russell and Kyle Lowry.
Okay, well, the next category is what one player acquisition will have the biggest impact, and it is a landslide again. It is a beatdown because Kyle Lowry is 77% to Russ's only 17% of the vote.
We're going to show you.
Well, are you?
Yes. What
because
part about
the GMs are screaming at you like, Russ? Really? Over Kyle Lowry?
Skip.
And finally, there's one more category that hasn't been brought up yet, and it was what was the most surprising move of the offseason. And Russ runs away with that one. He's got 50% of the vote to DeMar DeRozan going to the Bulls at 22%. But that's like a, they're saying it's a negative surprise, like the Lakers did that? They're going to try that?
I was surprised as well, Skip. So I'm right along with the general manager. But Skip, I think when you look at what all the pieces that they added, better shooting with Malik Monk, Ellington, Nunn, Bazemore, those guys can play defense also.
Yeah.
Skip, I think for a totality, now I like the Kyle Lowry. If you say Kyle Lowry and Russ, I'm going to say Kyle Lowry fits better naturally with the Heat.
What they're saying is he's more dependable. He's more trustworthy. That's a guy you can count on, right, where you can't always count on Russ because you're never sure which Russ you're going to get, good or bad Russ.
Well, we're only going to get the good because we got the big guy, Big Brother, going to put his arm around him and say, Russ. And he told you. He said, the one thing I know, the guy that's been to, the 10 championships, he's the architect. He knows what it takes to get to a championship. So I'm going to follow. Follow me.
You can't teach old dog new tricks.
No, we try to get the old dog do better tricks.
You know, he's been a great dog in that he's got a lot of dog in him, but he is a stat machine of a solo act, and you can't unteach that.
Watch.
You can't sort of coach that
They
out
say the same thing about Randy Moss. Oh, he was disgruntled. Everybody, they always say that. Oh, this guy was disgruntled, and this guy can't do that. And lo and behold, Antonio Brown has been nothing but a model citizen in Tampa. Randy Moss was nothing but a model citizen in New England until he wanted more money, and then Coach Belichick said no. But
but you did bring in Antonio and say, now you're the quarterback. We're going to put the ball in your hand every play.
No.
Russ is the point guard of the Lakers.
Something that
the ball is going to be initiated by him. It's the ball movement. Whatever happens, the distribution starts with Russ.
Big trust in Russ.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really? I don't believe you.
Yes.
You can't trust him. He's led this league in turnovers 4 times. He's been second 4 times.
And he led this league in assists 4 times. And he's one of the MVP. And he's had 4 seasons triple-doubles.
And 4 times he's led the league in usage rate.
Okay.
And 4 times he finished second in usage rate.
Okay.
And he is an even more abominable three-point shooter than LeBron is. And now you got both of them in the backcourt. You got Westbrook and LeBrick.
Don't worry about it.
Good luck with that.
And guess what? And guess how you build a championship? With bricks. Yeah, that we gonna lay brick on top of brick right for a championship in Staples.
They're bricklayers.
Yeah.
Both of them,
Oh, keep that energy. Now next year, now come June, we were having this conversation. They got lucky, and this team got hurt, and it started snowing in Africa in February. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear nothing that you got to say when we win the title.
If they get to play the 5th seed in the East without its 2 best players in game 1, you got me.
It doesn't have.
You got me.
No, I'm saying the title. I don't care how we get it, we gonna get it.
If the basketball gods say, let there be Russ, then I can't stop them. I cannot defeat the basketball gods.
Don't worry about it.
They are all powerful. They are omnipotent.
360.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 360.
You're going to do a 360 on your opinion of Russ before this is over. And guess who wears 0? Fittingly, number 0 has 0 rings.
360.
Yep. Number 6 has 4 rings. That's pretty good.
Can't deny
Number 3 has 1 ring. It was a good ring because he had the most to do with that ring. He should have been the MVP.
Hold on.
The guy on the left should have been the MVP at the bubble finals, the bubblicious one.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
You see, you just tried to.
No, I'm not. Remember the shot against Denver? Right in the
LeBron singing that Jay-Z verse.
Yeah.
You can't deny me.
Okay. Well,
how would you want to?
Number 0 has 0 rings, and I'm glad he chose that jersey.
First time for everything.
Yep.
Everybody in the NBA at one point in time had 0 rings. Every man in the NBA history that has multiple rings at one point in time had 0.
Kyle Lowry has 0 rings, but the GM
he got one.
I'm sorry, he won with
Kawhi.
Kawhi won it for him. I forget about that. Yeah, he was along for that ride. I was thinking DeMar was gone. But the point is, Kyle Lowry got 77% of the vote as the best single move.
Skip,
really?
It's a more natural fit. They need a point guard that can score, that can facilitate. He'll play defense. It's a natural fit. But in totality, with all the pieces that we got, I'm good.
I love all the pieces, all disqualified by number 0.
No, it ain't disqualified.
Yeah.
Okay.
No mercy.
Jaylon Smith's days in Dallas have come to a close as the former Pro Bowl linebacker was released yesterday, despite him being part of the team's hot 3-1 start. Former Cowboy Des Bryant reacted to the news, tweeting, quote, "I understand it's a business, but you don't mess with a team whenever everything is going right." That's a good point. Skip. Des, have a point in your eyes.
Shannon Sharpe. Many, many times I have rolled my eyes at something Des Bryant has tweeted. Last week, I did more than roll my eyes at something Des said about Colin Kaepernick on a podcast. Don't get me started on that because that's not the point of what we're about to discuss.
Okay.
But for the first time and maybe ever, this tweet hit me the right way. Because I thought, I understand it's a business, says Des, but you don't mess with a team whenever everything is going right. I just made a case to you 2 topics ago. I believe my Dallas Cowboys have played at the highest level of any team through 4 games in the National Football League. It is working. It is eye testing at the highest level. And wait a second. After a 3-1 start, which included an opening night loss at GOAT, you cut a defensive captain, a team leader. If we could see once again Jaylon Smith playing hype master in the big sideline huddle just before the kickoff this past Sunday against Carolina, this is Jaylon Smith. He is leading the charge. He is chanting the chant.
Dak is hyped.
Yeah. Look, we're headbutting.
Yeah.
That's Jaylon Smith this past Sunday before the Carolina game for which he was named a defensive captain. Yeah. He's gone. He's cut. He's out the door. And I'm saying there's much truth to what Des tweeted because if it ain't broke, I don't want to try to fix it after 4 games. It was working, and I told you to start this show off if you put me on a lie detector right now as a diehard, lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan, would I rather have Jaylon or not have him? I would rather have him. Again, I don't want him to be an unhappy camper. I don't want him to make waves in the locker room if he's not getting to play. And his snaps got reduced pretty dramatically on Sunday.
And it was only going to get worse for the weeks to come.
You well could be right. But he contributed at a very high level at Chargers. He had 9 tackles with 6 of them solo. He was actually very good. In fact, next to Micah, I thought he did the most disrupting on defense at Justin Herbert. He played high snap, played 50 snaps on Monday night against Philadelphia. They got reduced. I give you that against Carolina. They are loaded at linebacker. They're actually loaded everywhere in the defensive line. But still, injuries are going to happen. You know it, and I know. I'm going to knock on wood. COVID is going to strike again. You know it, and I know it. I'm going to knock on wood again. I'm just shocked that they did it now. I'm not surprised because last year Jaylon Smith was a disaster.
Right.
I just saw some rejuvenation. Right. You already paid him his 7.2 because it's guaranteed. So you're going to lose it one way or the other. He's going to get it one way or the other. So, again, if you pushed me, in the end, I'd say I'd keep him. But you know and I know what the biggest problem lurking out there is, that
the injury protection.
If he gets hurt, it triggers a guaranteed 9.2 for next season. That I don't want to live with, and I guarantee you Jerry and company don't want to live with that, because that could actually help wreck your cap going into next year. So they just said, we don't want to risk it anymore. And yet, as a fan, I don't want to risk losing Jaylon Smith this early. It seems like you could have at least waited a few more games. I know you're daring the devil on the injuries.
Right.
But to me, he was playing so well, even as a backup. He didn't start a game unless they know something I don't know, which is that he would become a locker room problem. But I haven't seen that from him. We had him on the show 2 Super Bowls ago in Miami, and I liked him.
Yeah, I did too.
And I talked to him after the show, and he's a good kid. And I think he is a team leader
in the Dallas area for minority businesses.
And he has a lot. And he said remember, Jerry gave him a big new deal in 2019 when he made the Pro Bowl. And he said at that point, I want to be a lifetime Dallas Cowboy, and I want to be a captain of the Dallas Cowboys. Well, he achieved that.
Right.
And then Jerry sent him packing. Again, not surprised, but shocked at the timing of this.
Right.
And it leaves me just a little bit queasy. What if we need him? What if a couple of linebackers do go down and all of a sudden you're hard-pressed to fill those shoes? Well, you want to talk about a quality backup? He's about as quality backup as you can get.
Well, Skip, the way I disagree with Daz, because I don't believe the Cowboys would trade him if they thought he was a major contributor. And as everybody understands, yes, this is a business, a bottom line business. And the question is, can Jaylon Smith give us the same or better production than Keanu Neal?
No.
Van Der Esch?
No.
Michael Parsons?
Absolutely not.
So
and probably not on Jabril Cox. He's a young stud.
So that's
remember, they stole him in the 4th round. Remember, he started at LSU and then he wound up at North Dakota State.
Right.
So he kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit.
And that's always kind of a flag.
No.
You had a prominent program like this, and you go down there. Wow, what's going on?
Right. And as we spoke about Trey Lance, they played 1 game during the pandemic.
Correct.
Last year.
Right. Okay. So in a situation like that, Skip, but the mere fact that the Cowboys felt this strongly and was willing to eat this contract, as you said, this money is guaranteed.
It's gone.
He was on the roster opening day, so he gonna get his money. He gonna get all of it. So for me, it tells me that.
And by the way, quick point.
Go ahead.
He hasn't missed a game. He came off, obviously, a career-threatening, if not career-ending knee injury in the bowl game. In the Fiesta Bowl for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, correct.
And he fought back. Jerry took a 2nd-round flyer. He missed the whole 2016 season. Then he came back strong 2017, 18. Here he went. He hasn't missed a game.
Right.
He started for 3 straight years and didn't miss a game.
Right.
So what's the injury risk on him? What percentage? Well, I don't even know how to put a percentage on it because you just don't know.
It's football.
It's football.
And you could be Skip. You go 10, 15 games and not even have a tweak, and then
boom.
It happens. And so for me, I get it. But this is because the positions are valuable, Skip, and all these other guys, with the exception of Michael Parsons, gonna play special teams for you. Can Jaylon play special teams for you? How valuable is, because Skip, we saw how
no, he won't. Yeah,
that's why you only carry 2 quarterbacks.
They have another linebacker named Luke Gifford.
Right.
I don't even know him, but he's a good special teams player. But he could step in a pinch. But he's just playing special teams.
Positions are valuable, Skip.
Gabriel Cox is playing special teams.
Yes, we saw what happened Monday night.
Yep.
The Raiders lose two DBs, Skip. Now imagine if you had a quarterback that was not going to play. That's a spot. So you got to be. So how? I mean, okay. And like I said, do you really want a guy that's been, and he's been a good player for the Cowboys. I'm not saying he's been great, but he's been a very good player for the Cowboys. Yep. Can you, like, DMP, coach's decision, have him practice all week, Skip, and not play? And I think that's Jerry's like, you know what, I got too much pride, got too much respect for you to do that. Because it's not like he's not going to get his money. He's going to get his money. And he might get a chance to get picked up by somebody else that can, use a linebacker. Skip, and he's not what he once was. His speed is diminishing. He's getting worse in space. Yeah. And so I think those are some of the things that factored into it. And like, you don't mess with things are going right. The Cowboys are asking themselves, of what we have going right, how much does Jaylon Smith have to do with this? And so those are the questions that you have to ask yourself.
It's a fair point, and I'm trying to embrace your point here to get out of my.
You superstitious.
Well, I'm queasy right now. Really, we did that?
Yes, because you're superstitious.
But the silver lining is,
what's that?
We're loaded. We're just loaded. Well, that's why they were able to do it. They said, we don't need Jaylon Smith, the guy who made Pro Bowl in 2019, who actually had a decent game at Chargers. We don't need him.
But you said it yourself. You saw, he made the Pro Bowl in 2019. Probably should have made it in 2018. But year. You saw 2020.
It was terrible. It was chicken with head cut off. He was lost, and he lost a step. Well, that's a lethal combination. Right. You can't read and react, and you've lost a step.
And I believe Van Der Esch, because remember, they didn't pick up the fifth-year option on Van Der Esch. Yep. So there's a great chance that he's going to be out of there after this year.
Yep, I got it. Last quick point. Jerry, he showed me a little something making this cold-blooded move, because what do we always criticize him for? He treats all these players like a son.
And sometimes he hold on too long.
I think he loved Jaylon Smith.
I believe so, too.
Yeah, and he called him in yesterday, and I don't know how that conversation went, but it couldn't have been a pretty one.
Right. Normally, I was going to say, Skip, normally that's the general manager, but damn.
Well, he is. There you go.
Normally the owner is not calling a player in on the day off, Skip, and releasing him. But I forgot, like Jerry got like 4 hats. We say he wears 2 hats, now Jerry got 4 hats.
Owner and operator of the Dallas Cowboys.
Not an easy conversation to have. Thursday Night Football comes to Fox as Matthew Stafford and the Rams take on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. Well, despite the Lakers' flurry of moves this summer, nearly half of the league's GMs voted for the Heat as the team that had the best offseason, while LA came in second. Miami's acquisition of Kyle Lowry helped tip the scales in their favor, who was also voted as the player who will make the biggest impact for his new team. New Lakers point guard Russell Westbrook came in second. First things first, co-host Chris Broussard joins us right now. Chris, good morning. How surprised are you that the Lakers and Russ didn't win this category?
I'm not surprised at all, Jen. Not even a little bit. Because I think that what the GMs see is what everybody, including myself and I believe even Shannon, see, and that is that Russell Westbrook is not a seamless fit alongside LeBron James. You know, and even the most avid Lakers fan and supporter will have to admit that. I was talking to somebody recently close to LeBron, and they said it's going to be tough. Like, that's just obvious, you know. Doesn't mean it can't work, but it is a tough fit. And then you look at Miami. I actually agree with the GMs because Kyle Lowry has the type of game that can fit next to anybody. He's a defender. He can spot up and shoot. He can shoot the three. You know, he's a leader. So he will fit next to anybody. And then don't forget PJ Tucker, who was big for Milwaukee. Forget his stats. He was big in that series, not just against Brooklyn, but throughout their run to the championship. And they added Markieff Morris. So I do think Miami had a better offseason. So now I know what Skip is thinking. He's thinking, well, how in the world are you picking the Lakers and you and others picking the Lakers to win the West? Here's why. Because a healthy LeBron James and a healthy Anthony Davis is enough for them to be favored in the West, regardless of who's around them. As long as they have competent players around them, if those two are healthy, they still can win the West. Then you add in Westbrook and some of the other players, and their talent is undeniable. And so I think it's a tribute to LeBron's leadership and his basketball intelligence as to why people are still picking the Lakers to win the West, even as they might be a bit leery or questionable about the fit with Westbrook, because LeBron is smart, and you figure, okay, he'll figure it out. You give him 82 games, he'll figure it out. And LeBron's leadership, I don't think anybody believes he's going to let Westbrook just go in there and blow the whole thing up. So I think those are the reasons that, despite maybe some concerns about the fit and the chemistry on the court, I think people still expect a big season from the Lakers.
You know, Chris, I misheard the question earlier. I thought it was about player for player. If you ask me who's a better fit, who had a better acquisition, the Heat or the Lakers when it came to Kyle Lowry and Russell Westbrook, I would say the Heat. But given the totality of the pieces in which the Lakers added, I think the Lakers got better than the Heat. Because I look at, they got better shooting. They're a better shooting team than they were last year with Malik Monk, Ellington, Nunn, Bazemore, and Melo. I believe they shoot the ball better. I believe they got better defensively. They're better than Drummond, than Marc Gasol, with Dwight coming back and DJ. And Schroeder and Kuzma is out of there. Kuzma can be good on a bad team. Schroeder was trying to play for a contract, and he did not buy in to the team concept. He was out there on most night doing his own thing. Although he did gave the Lakers some good night, but for the most part, I never bought it in. And plus, what they have now, Chris, I believe, is that they have guys that can create when LeBron is not on the court. So Russell can run the offense if LeBron is off the court. Kendrick Nunn can run the offense if LeBron is off the court. And defensively, they're exponentially better than what they were last year. Gasol wasn't giving you anything. They talk about stretching the floor, and he was all hurt when they brought in Andre Drummond, and he went to the bench. Well, you should have been on the bench. As a matter of fact, I'm disappointed that they got you. I'm disappointed that I believe that you were going to add something more than what they had the year before. I was wrong. I'm willing to accept that responsibility. I should have known better. I should kick my own self in the butt. If my hip was good, I would do that. I don't hear nothing you got to say.
Wait a second. So now you have come full circle from the first time, which was just 2 topics ago, that we treated this question. Yep. It's about best overall moves. Yep. And now you're saying, I'm shocked at this, because I told you I was shocked because I was shocked that you weren't shocked.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
It's a landslide. The Heat got 47% of the vote to the Lakers only 17%.
I just heard Jay say Russ and Kyle Lowry. So I was just thinking
that's the next category. Which one player acquisition will make the biggest impact?
I'll give the general managers that. But in totality,
okay, I don't even think you'll give him best single player impact, because it's another landslide. It's a runaway beatdown. Kyle Lowry got 77% of the vote.
I'm giving you that.
Russell Westbrook gets 17%.
I gave you that for the very reason that I told you before. It is a more seamless fit for Kyle Lowry being in the Heat than Russ being with the Lakers. Okay, I'll give you that.
But you're telling me the Lakers are going to win it all?
Yeah. Well,
yes. I keep telling you it's purple and fool's gold, Lakers.
The totality.
Purple and fool's gold.
Chris, the shooting that we have with Monk and Ellington and Nunn, Bazemore and Melo, you can't tell me they're not a better shooting team than what they were last year. And they got better defensively with Dwight and DJ. We back to 2020, baby. Title. Here we come.
Bubblicious.
I think they protect the rim better with Dwight. DJ isn't protecting the rim anymore or rebounding. I don't even think he's going to play very much.
We're going to get dunked.
If he couldn't play for the Nets, who need size, I don't think he's going to play much for the Lakers. Here's the other thing, Shannon, and I love Bazemore, because Bazemore is tough. He can defend and he can shoot.
Agreed.
Malik Monk just became a good three-point shooter like a month ago. All right? I mean, last year was his first year shooting it well. I'd like to see him do that again and do it under the bright lights. They got question marks. I'm with you. I picked them to win the West because the talent they're built in a different way, in an odd way. But like I said, I think it's a tribute to LeBron. If LeBron and AD stay healthy, that's what people are saying. They'll fit the rest of those guys in. And Westbrook, if it works, you got like a secret weapon there, an X factor or something like that. But I think people are really looking at LeBron and AD as healthy, and they'll be able to get it done, at least in the West.
I keep trying to explain to you. I loved every one of GM LeBron's moves. They were beautiful. They were brilliant. Well, you didn't even bring up Rondo. He, for weird reasons that I can't explain, didn't fit with Kawhi. He said the other night he cried. He was crying tears when he got welcomed back to Lakerland, right? He's back in Laker Nation at the preseason game.
He gonna be our new Duds.
Okay. Well, he's way beyond Duds.
He gonna be Duds.
Duds was a mascot. He was a cheerleader.
I mean, Rondo will keep that thing in the locker room together. You know, let us.
But I keep telling both of you, for all the brilliance of all the acquisitions, the GMs in the next category scream back at you, no, it won't work with Russ, because they're saying Kyle Lowry is way more dependable, trustworthy. You can't trust. You said, I've been big trust. I really. Okay, no. You know and I know he is nothing but a solo act of a stat machine. You won't be able to refine that. You won't be able to unteach that, uncoach that. LeBron, if anybody can do it, LeBron will be able to, and he will not be able to. In the end, Russ will take this team over in the wrong ways.
The thing that concerns me, Skip, is that if you look at the last 3 or 4 years, Chris, Russ has been nicked at some point in time during the regular season. That's concerning. Remember last year with the hamstring, he had the issue in Houston. So that's what's concerning with me. But as long as our big guns, with them big guns, that three, as long as we got 3-6 or that 3-6-0,
yep,
we peachy.
Unfortunately, your new point guard, conceded to by LeBron, is the guy wearing number 0, as in 0 rings. The guy who's led the league in turnovers 4 times and finished second 4 times is your point guard.
Led the league in assists, too, 4 times.
The abominable three-point shooter that is Russell Westbrook is now part of a backcourt, as in Westbrick, with LeBrick. You got 2 terrible three-point shooters as your backcourt.
That's how we build a championship.
Huh. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Brick by brick.
Let me
miss by miss.
Hey, Chris, how well did Milwaukee shoot the 3 last year? And the year before that, how well did the Lakers shoot the 3? They won the championship. So this notion that you got to shoot
the
40.
Lakers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the Lakers got hot in the bubble. Remember, in the playoffs, they actually shot it fairly well in the playoffs.
Shot
at
the
times.
lights out.
And then Milwaukee was a decent 3-point shooting team, but not in the playoffs. So you're right. They did play big. They did play big. I think the Lakers' plan.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, the plan is to let Westbrook be Westbrook for like 40 minutes. Right? And then LeBron's going to make the decisions at the end. Now, that's a tough transition. Is Westbrook going to be cool with that? I can't wait to see how it works.
Yeah, I love it.
I believe in LeBron, and I believe in their talent, but I can't wait to see how this
Chris,
works.
I appreciate your reporting that you expressed early in this segment. You said that you talked to somebody in the inner circle who said it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
It is.
Yeah, championship's supposed to be tough.
It's not supposed to be tough.
Yeah, it's supposed to be tough.
It's going to be impossibly tough.
And I like the Patty Mills. Where did Patty Mills rank on that list? Patty Mills is a big pickup because those shots that Joe Harris was missing last year.
Okay, but he's not a life changer.
No. But Skip,
he's a winner.
You don't need a life changer when you got those big. How much do you need?
Okay,
if I can knock down a couple of threes, but
Russell Westbrook is a life changer for better or for worse. He's going to have major impact one way or the other, and I say it's the other. Yeah. Right.
Genie Buzz gonna be raising that thing.
Yeah.
That's another banner going up there, Chris. And Staples.
Come on, raising it up.
Yep, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there this one.
You say
and we have a big parade too. We having a parade, so y'all need to go ahead and put mask up, vaccine up, because we having a parade, baby. And I'm gonna be right there.
You're gonna be in Russ's car.
For the last couple
I'll be throwing out T-shirts to everybody.
No mercy.
The Chiefs activated Josh Gordon from the practice squad yesterday, meaning the veteran receiver could play this Sunday night against the Bills. Gordon hasn't played in an NFL game since 2019 when he was with the Seahawks most recently. So, Shannon, how much will he help Patrick Mahomes?
I'm not counting on much. I don't think they should be counting on much also. Skip, at some point in time, I understand he's only 30 years of age, but when you play as sporadically as he played over the last 6-7 years, Skip, how can you continue to perform at an elite level? Yeah, I understand what he was once upon a time. He was arguably one of the best receivers in football. That was many, many, many years ago.
2013.
And he hasn't played consistently since then. And so for them to hope they could get some kind of great production when Seattle didn't get it, the Patriots didn't get it. Obviously, they didn't get it in Cleveland outside of that year and a half that he played with them. So, Skip, for me, I just don't know what they expect. I'm not counting on much. I don't really know what they're expecting, but they're trying to find a receiver to go opposite of Tyreek. They've tried Mecole Hardman. They've tried Pringle. They tried Marcus Robinson. And basically, it's a revolving door since Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins has been better than I thought for the Ravens because Sammy Watkins has been able to be healthy.
Yep.
When he was healthy for the Chiefs, he was really, really good.
He was.
But he couldn't stay healthy.
Nope.
So now they've tried Mecole Hardman. They've tried a lot of different guys. They said, you know what? What the hell? What do we got to lose? Let's try Josh Gordon. And maybe he can provide something. And maybe he can. But, Skip, it's not like I'm holding my breath expecting to see Josh Gordon do anything spectacular for them. I'm just not.
So here we go again.
Yes.
Andy Reid is following in Belichick's footsteps or Pete Carroll's footsteps. It's the great coaches, the accomplished coach who says, watch what I can do.
But only those guys can do that because no other coach, you couldn't even, the ownership not going to even let you bring this guy in.
Not going to let you. What did Tyrann Mathieu say yesterday?
Right.
After he got his first look up close and personal at this kid.
Oh, he's impressive. If you just look at him, he's a statue.
He compared him to Megatron, Calvin Johnson.
Yes.
He's 6'3", 225, and he said, this guy looks like one of those kind of guys that you see two people on and you still throw him the ball.
Yeah.
He looks that way. I've been around him. He's now 30, so he's not a kid anymore.
Right.
But he's a good guy. High intelligence. If you sit and talk to him, you're like, wow, this guy's impressive. And his physique is obviously extremely impressive. And if you get him out on the practice field, it's highly impressive.
He's like T.O. He's like Julio. Yeah. He's built like a Brandon Marshall.
He is.
That's what he looks like.
All of the above. But what did we both conclude as we watched him through the 2018 Patriots season? He started looking like he was running with the proverbial piano on back, right?
Yeah.
He did. He just looked like he was trudging through routes. He still caught a bunch of balls, and he was decent, and Brady and Belichick tried to put him in position to help them.
Well, maybe he can be Sammy Watkins. Maybe, they didn't ask Sammy to get deep. They just like, Sammy, we worked intermediate. You can help Kelsey out, lift some of the because right now, Skip, they're a two-person team.
Yep.
They got Kelsey and they got Tyreek. Now, there was a hell of a combination with Pat Mahomes throwing it. But if they can just get that third guy.
No, I got it. So in 2018, Josh Gordon caught 40 balls during the regular season for the Patriots, 720 yards, 3 touchdowns. It was decent.
Yes.
He was their third receiver.
Well, if he could give them that.
Okay. And then what happened? They get to the playoffs, and he checks out. And he says, I need to take some time away to work on my mental health. Well, it's just been one thing. 6 times he's been suspended. And you go back to his college days. Remember, he starts at Baylor, and it just becomes a nightmare of suspension. It's one after another until they finally just say, you got to go. You got to go. And he goes to Utah and doesn't play a down in Utah.
Because he can't
stay clean. And I like him, and I root for him.
Yes.
But after a while, enough seems to be enough.
Right.
It seems like you need some kind of limit to this.
Right.
But he's clean for the moment. I hope he stays clean, and I hope he's got some left in the tank. And if anybody can get what you should be able to get out of him, it's going to be Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So here we go again.
Yeah, Skip, I hope it works out, but I'm not. It's not like, oh, yeah, I just can't because my trust has been just broken too many times. At some point in time, you just got, you know what? Throw my hands up.
So I'm now like you. I just sit back and wait to see if there's anything left.
Right.
And they're starting off with Buffalo at home. Sunday night.
Sunday night,
No mercy. Saturday, a massive top 5 showdown headlines a big noon doubleheader on Fox. The big noon kickoff crew is live from Iowa City at 10 a.m. Eastern before Maryland takes on number 7, Ohio State at noon. And then at 4 Eastern, We've got the game of the weekend as Sean Clifford leads number 4 Penn State against number 3 Iowa. A huge big noon Saturday on Fox and the Fox Sports app. I cannot wait for that one to get underway on Saturday. Well, guys, we've been talking about this all day. LeBron, well, he was tied with Nikola Jokic as the best passer in the NBA, according to this week's GM survey. However, the King only finished 4th in the results for the league's best point guard as Steph Curry ran away with 57% of the vote. So, Skip, what do you make of this?
Shannon Sharpe, what have I told you from the start on this show? What do I say? It feels like at least once a day.
You a hater?
LeBron James is the best passer in basketball. How many times have I said that to you?
You said it a bunch.
And you try to disqualify me as a hater. But I say it because it's straight from the heart. It's the truth unvarnished. He is still the best passer in basketball. He's got a gift nobody else has.
Okay.
What do I also tell you repeatedly about LeBron James? He has the highest basketball IQ in the NBA.
Okay.
So here are the 2 categories, and we've talked about all the negatives, but these are 2 big positives. He is voted the best passer. He's tied with Jokic, as we talked about.
Okay.
But that's fine. I'll give you that. But basketball IQ, he wins out over Chris Paul, Luka, and Jokic. Now, I look at the point guard category, and I see that Steph has buried him because Steph got 57% of the vote as the best point guard when he's not really a point guard. He's more 2 than 1. I don't care what you say. He's got nice handle, nice skills. Loved him coming out of Davidson. Thought he should have been the first pick in the draft. But is he a better point guard than LeBron James? No, it's not even close. And yet LeBron got only 7% of the point guard vote. 57% goes to Steph, 7% goes, what? That's just wrong. And double wrong is the fact that I'm being sold what I hope is a bill of goods that LeBron's not going to be the point guard of your Lakers. He belongs at point guard. He was born to be a point guard. He's way more Magic than a Michael, obviously. So that means way more 1 than 2. And now I'm hearing he's going to move past 2 over to 3 to small forward. What did this poll say? When it's him against KD up for small forward, he gets buried because he's not KD at small forward. So you can't tell me he doesn't belong at point guard. And now you've brought in a disaster waiting to happen in Russell Westbrook, and you're going to hand him the keys to LeBron's kingly kingdom? That's just wrong.
So LeBron was voted the second best small forward, the second best power forward, the 4th or 5th best point guard, best IQ. Sound like the best player in the NBA to me.
Why isn't he at point guard?
Because he's a point forward. Because he's not a point guard. He's a better version of what Scottie Pippen was. That's what he is. He's a point forward.
Who's going to bring the ball up the floor?
Russell Westbrook.
That's such a mistake.
Well, but
you're going to be beaten before you start.
No, we're not.
You're going to let him initiate. He has to make the first decision. This is why Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City. I cannot win with him as my primary decision maker because every time down he gets to decide, is it me or you? I think I'm going to go me.
But KD also left a great situation in Golden State. So for whatever reasons why he left, he left.
I know, but he did what he needed to do in Golden State. He won back-to-back championships with MVPs in the finals.
Okay, I get that. It didn't work out with him and Skip. They went to the NBA Finals. They ran up against a better team in Miami Heat, and they lost. There's no shame in losing to a better team. It wasn't like, I didn't think, I know the odds makers probably had it that they thought because OKC had the better record that they were going to win. I didn't. I did not think they were going to beat the Miami Heat. Maybe you thought they were going to beat the Miami Heat, but I did not.
Okay.
So for me, Skip, when I look at this, I don't look at LeBron. Yes, he's been the primary ball handler, but I've always thought that LeBron James was a point forward. He just happens to handle the ball, and anybody that handles the ball, they say he's the point guard. And I agree with you about Steph Curry. Draymond is the point guard.
Yeah,
Draymond is
he does
point
more of that than Steph does.
Just like Jokic. I don't know who the point guard is for. Is it Jamal Murray or is it one of these other guys? But Jokic is the guy that normally runs the offense. He's the guy that's in the high post and distributing the basketball.
That is highly unusual, but I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't look at LeBron as a point guard, although he does run the offense, Skip. I look at him as a point forward. But looking at this list, what they say, second this, second that, this, that, and I sound like the best player to me. When you combine all this thing up, seems like that's the best dish right there.
Yeah, but when you look at head-to-head as the the three, right? The what do you want to call it? Small forward. Okay, if you want to call it small forward, they have a category for small forward. Yeah. He gets buried by Kevin Durant. Why is that?
Well, when it comes to power forward, Giannis is greater. LeBron is 2.
Okay, but head to head with Kevin Durant as small forward, who you got?
LeBron.
Oh, it's not even close. It's over. Because the best player on the planet, clearly for the last 3 years, has been Kevin Durant. And finally, the GMs are acknowledging that.
How can a guy, they scored the same. One guy rebounds better. The other guy assists, runs the offense better, and they play defense the same. I'm just, how do you get, so how does what the guy A is exponentially better than B when the scoring is the same, but B's rebounding and playmaking is much better, IQ is much better, and I just don't get it, Skip.
Better clutch shooter, number one.
That's not what the numbers say.
Way better three-point shooter. That's not. Way better free throw shooter.
Yeah, he's a better three-point shooter when there's nothing on the line. When there's something on the line, the numbers say LeBron James is better. The numbers say LeBron James is better than Steph Curry when the money is on the line in the final 5-10 seconds.
I don't have that stat. I've got the one that says since he came into the league, LeBron James has missed so many more shots. I don't know where you got this.
Take a look at that. Just read out at the bottom. Right at the bottom. Right at the bottom.
These are, if you get vaccinated, you get third eye stats. These are third eye stats.
Give my nose back.
Huh? Where did you get these?
Don't worry about it.
Off some weird website?
No. Me and Steve, we stayed up late. No. I was up till 10 o'clock last night.
Okay, all I know is since LeBron came into the league, he's missed 97 game-on-the-line shots. Next on the list is Dwayne Wade, who's long since retired at 77. Interesting.
All it says is that LeBron and Dame are close as far as last-second playoff career time. You said it yourself that Steph Curry has come up small in playoffs and big moments. But now all of a sudden I bring LeBron James into the mix. Oh, now you want Steph Curry after you beat him up for 6 years.
I don't want Steph Curry. What are you talking about?
In last-second shots, you're like, oh, he's shooting the three. Kevin Durant is a better three-point shooter than LeBron James.
I'd say.
Until the last 5-10 seconds of the ball game.
Stop it.
That's what the numbers give. I'm just going by what the numbers say.
Did you see the shot that he made right in LeBron's grill in Game 3 of that first go-around with Golden State? I know, it was a minute left. It was a minute left.
Okay, then.
But the game was on the line because that changed the game. That gave Golden State its first lead in the game, and it stood.
So let me ask you a question. So the Cavaliers did not have another opportunity to tie the game, to win the game. Because you do realize, like, last second, that doesn't mean I got a minute. It says last second. I went last 5, last 10 seconds. And the numbers say LeBron James is a better shooter from 3, from 2 than Kevin Durant. That's what the numbers say. Now, what you're going to do is flip it back on me, but what about free throws? He run from the late game free throws. That's not what last second is. They say the last 5-10 seconds of a ball game, from 2 or from 3, Go James is better than KD. That's what the numbers say.
Remember the classic Game 2 of the bubble, it would be the conference finals against Denver?
Yeah, the Nuggets.
Remember Game 2?
Yeah.
And it's coming down to the wire, and they call a play for LeBron James. Yeah. And Rondo took the ball out of bounds under the basket, and he said, I locked eyes with LeBron, and he did not move. He just froze. And AD had to loop completely around the formation to go to the far wing to take a desperation inbounds pass from Rondo to go up to shoot the three that saved the game and took LeBron off the hook.
Did we win the game?
Yep.
Okay, then. That's all that matters. And the numbers say...
I'm trying to be nice to LeBron.
Don't be nice.
I'm trying to say that he's the best passer. Even you don't think that. Highest IQ, I think that. I'm just trying to warn you, you're going to give the store away if you give it to Westbrook and let him be the point guard.
The last 5 to 10 seconds of a ball game, LeBron James is 20% better shooting than Kevin Durant. That's what the numbers say.
No mercy. The Patriots are reportedly releasing cornerback Stephon Gilmore. The former All-Pro was eligible to come off the physically unable to perform list after Week 6, but a long-standing disagreement over his contract has caused the team to move on from him mid-season, instead making him a free agent right now. So, Shannon, which team will sign him right now?
Well, this is the move that needed to happen. I think this is a move for both teams, both parties. I think I agree with Stephon Gilmore. I'm not taking a pay cut. I'm in the last year of my contract. Why would I give you money back when I don't know? No, I'm not going to do that. Kansas City. He would change. He would shift the dynamic.
Oh, would he?
Yeah, that'd be like July 5th. Remember back in 2020, July 5th,
like
what had that bombshell? This would be another bombshell. Well, it might be 2019. 2019.
Gilmore's going to get a call. Probably already got one. Hey, Gil, it's TB down here in Tampa. You got to come down and join us because the weather is great.
Well, I might call him.
Yeah, come win another ring with me.
Well, how about if I call him and put a word in
for my homeboy?
Yeah, what if I do that?
He won't take your call, but he'll take Brady's call.
My call, I know him. We talk.
It's perfect. They're decimated at cornerback. They need him. Richard Sherman and Stephon Gilmore at corner. That'll work.
Ooh, Gilmore, Honey Badger.
Oh, yeah.
And that secondary with my homeboy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You know who else said
MVP.
call me? Devontae Adams. He chimed in to his Instagram. He said, please call me. Everyone's going to want the guy. That is it for Undisputed. Skip Shannon, good stuff. See you tomorrow. Heard is on now. Have a good one.